Hello guys, so today we are going to see how to make this model in Rhino 3D. Actually, this is a replica of Prince Bay Market Center. Actually, so it's a real life building. So I just saw the building and I like to show you how to do this model in Rhino 3D. Okay, so I'm just opening a new file. So now I'm checking with the units because whenever you enter Rhino, please check with the units. So I'm giving a new model units as meter. Okay, so the basic step is first we should draw a polygon. So now I need the sides of the polygon to be 12. So I'm just clicking number of sides. Now I'm changing the number of sides to 12. So you can see the number of sides has been changed into 12. So this is the way you can change the numbers of the polygon. So I need it in center, so I'm giving an input value. I mean center of the circumference 0, 0. So now I got a polygon. So I'm giving a radius of random. Okay. So now I'm just when I click this every line, so every side of the polygon has been joined. So I don't need that. So I'm just giving explode, which will unjoin the edges. So now I can select each sides of the polygon. So I am just deleting these three sides the same way on the opposite sides also. So we just need these three sides of the polygon. Okay, so now I'm going to extrude curve command. So to extrude these three lines into a surface, just I'm creating a line into a surface. So I'm just turning it into shaded, so you'll get a clear idea. So now I turned a line into surface by using extrude surface command. So I'm just resizing by using scale only. Scale only is a command where you can use scale option in just a single axis. So I need only in this axis to be so reduced. So I resized. So why I'm using it again because I need little. This is fine for me. So okay. I think so. I don't need to resize because this is also fine. Okay, this itself a fine size for me. Okay, now I'm going to use an arc. So I'm going to use arc start end radius this arc, and I'm just turning off the auto because when I snap the second point, it will give a selection. So I don't need that. So I just turned the auto. So I'm just selecting the 2 points and giving a arc value. So I just done with it. So next I'm going to do with this point. Okay, I think so this is fine for me. So I'm just moving this arc to the top point. Okay, and in this I'm just moving in this arc I'm just moving the single point to the top. So I need that inclined surface. So this is fine. So I need to move this point also, and so I'm using gumball to get a perfect move in the. So I'm done with it. So now I'm going to use project to C plane command. So I'm just selecting the object. So it will give a projection. This is the grid plane is known as C plane in Rhino. So there is a projection towards the C plane. So this is the exact wireframe that I require to make a surface. So now I'm going to use swipe to. So it's asking for first rail, and this is the first rail, and it's asking for second rail. I'm going to select the second rail axis. Now it's asking for cross section. Press the shift and select these two edges. So now I got the exact surface, and I'm pressing OK. I'm OK with it. So I'm just taking the same command by pressing the space bar. So it's again asking first rail. So I'm giving first rail as this curve and the second rail as this curve and cross section as the edge of the surface. So I got the surface. Yeah, okay. So now we got the surface. Now we should draw the pattern on the surface. We should bring the mirror which is required. So when it's been a curved surface, I could not draw whatever pattern I want. So it's been really tough to do. So I'm using create UV curve. So this command will make a curved surface into a flat one, and whatever you draw on this flat surface, you can bring it in back to this curved surface, which is a useful command. So have a look at. So I got the flat surface. So now I'm going to draw the pattern. So I'm using a rectangle again. So I'm just offsetting this rectangle. I'm just changing the distance into a reasonable distance. So I'm using fillet command. So I'm just filleting the edges of the inner rectangle, which I've done. So now I got the rectangle. So now I'm going to use contour command. So before going into contour, so we should make this as a surface. So I'm using planar surface command. So now I'm going to use contour command. So it's asking for the direction perpendicular to the contour plane. This is the direction. And the distance is assigned as 0.998. I'm okay with it. So I'm just pressing enter. So I'm using extrude curve. I'm using an extrude curve. I'm giving a value of 0.2. I'm just deleting the lines which I used to extrude. So now I'm going to use select last created object. So which will select automatically the object which has been created using last command. So I'm using extrude surface this time, or else you can use offset surface. So I'm giving a value of 0.2. So I'm just deleting the surface which I used to extrude. So now I got a solid structure for my pattern. So now I'm going to use contour. So I need a structure pattern on the opposite direction also. So I'm using contour command again. So I got the contour command. I'm using extrude curve. Now I'm deleting the lines. So now I'm selecting a last created object. Now I'm giving offset surface. So I think so extrude surface and offset surface similarly same, but usage is different where you use it. Okay. So we take sometimes, yeah. Extrusion is done. Now I am extruding the surface also. Sorry, I am using offset command here, offset surface. I'm using, so the offset direction is in opposite side. So I'm using flip F enter, so it changes the direction. So I'm okay with it. So now I'm using scale 1D to reduce the thickness of the surface which I created. So I'm just hiding this object and this line so that I could make this as a separate group. Control G. So the group has been created. Now I can unhide all the thing. So I'm just moving it into the center. So I got it. So now we are going to make this pattern on the surface. Now we are going to place this pattern on the surface. So for that we should make this also a surface. So I'm using planar surface. Okay, now we are going to do the command. So we are going to use flow along surface. So now it's asking to select the object. So I'm selecting the object. So I'm pressing enter after selecting. It's asking for the base surface and select edge near a corner. So it need to match the corners. So I'm just selecting this surface with this edge as reference, and I'm selecting the target surface edge as this. So it's automatically created. So now I'm turning off this. I'm just hiding these objects. I'm just adding this object to the poly surface which have been created. So now I'm again using flow along surface. So I'm just selecting this curve. So I got the curve which has been created. Now I'm going to use trim command. So I'm just selecting these two by pressing shift for multiple selection. I'm just entering. So I'm just trim the one. So I know now I don't need this curve, so I'm just deleting it. So I'm using show object on it. So now I got the exact surface. So the pattern for the top portion has been over. Now we should create a pattern for the bottom portion also. So I'm using the same command create UV, so which will unfold it and give. So we got it. So now I'm going to use rectangle. So I'm going to extrude this rectangle. So I'm going to use linear array to get a multiple thing. So I'm going to use linear array. So it's asking to select the object of the array. I'm just selecting this, and it's asking for number of items. I need about 50. So it's asking for the point. So I'm okay with this as my reference point. Okay. So I'm using control plus control to unselect the selection. So I'm just copying this and pasting it. So I need a array up to this point, but with the 50 input I could not reach it. So I'm just copying the object which have been arrayed. So I'm using planar surface and offsetting the surface. Flip. So I want to select this. So I'm going to just drag it to the bottom. So now I'm going to use scale 1D. So okay, I got it. So now I'm going to use boolean subtract. So I'm in boolean difference command. So it's asking to select the surface or poly surface subtract from. So I'm just selecting this. It's asking for subtract it. So I'm giving the extrusion as the value. So I got the pattern. It's kind of a jolly pattern. So I got it. So now I should roll it with this surface. So I should place this pattern in the surface. So I'm just deleting all the lines which is unnecessary. So I'm selected line and using planar surface. So we need a base surface to place. So for that I created a surface. I'm just moving the point. So now I'm going to use flow along surface command. So it's asking to select the object. So I selected the object. It's asking for the base surface. So I'm giving this one as my base surface. It takes some time. I'm just waiting it. So we got the pattern on the bottom surface. So now we are going to select all the thing. Select everything. I'm just copying it. So I'm using rotate. So now I'm going use the same command. I'm just copying it. I'm now using rotate command to rotate. So we got the outer structure. Now I'm just selecting the line which I created. So I'm just using Ctrl J to join them and using planar surface to create a surface. So if you want a, so I got a flat surface. So in this, so if you want a curved surface or if you want a bulgy surface, you should always adjust a wireframe according to your outer model which you need. So wireframe is a major factor. So now I'm going to create a pattern on the top which is required. So I'm just deleting all of this. So I'm going to use polygon again. So in this number I'm just keeping 6 polygons. So now I'm turning on Alto. So next I'm going to draw a line to identify the center. So now I'm going to use polyline. So I got a triangle. So I'm going to use offset command. So I'm giving approximate distance. Okay, so I'm going to use polar array. So polar array is a circular array. So I'm selecting the object. So it's asking for the center. I'm in the center and I'm giving the number of items as 6. So it's asking for the reference. I'm giving 360. So now I'm just deleting this. So I got the exact one. So I'm just rotating it. I'm just turning on Alto and rotating it. So now I'm using mirror command. The same I'm doing for this also. So I'm using copy command. I'm just taking a number of copies. So for creating a pattern, this is just a base form. So I'm adding place exactly on the center, so I'm just placing it. So everything is done. So I'm just copying this in the down axis. So now I got it. So now I'm going to create a pattern with this triangle. So this is the pattern I need. So I'm just deleting other triangles which I have created. So you can try whatever pattern you want. So it's just a reference. Okay. So I'm drawing a line. So I'm using both sides. So I'm just turning off Alto. So I'm turning on both sides. So I'm just using trim command to trim all the corners which is not required. I'm using scale 1D to extend this, or I can use extend command also. Trim. So I'm just offsetting. So I'm giving the distance as this distance. I'm just extending. So now I'm just trimming all the edges. Actually, I don't need this part, so I'm just deleting the part which I don't require because I used it for just offsetting as okay. So I'm just deleting the inner line which I drawn before. I'm drawing polyline so that I could extend according to my wish. So I'm using extend command. So now I'm going to trim all. So actually I'm done with my re-editing the pattern. So I got the exact pattern which I require. So I'm going to join this curve. So I'm selecting everything and just using extrude curve. 0.2. So 0.1. So now I'm using select to delete the curves in the pattern. So I should not delete these curves. Okay, so I'm just unselecting using control. By pressing control I'm just unselecting because I don't want to delete that curve and I don't want to delete the outer curve. So I just need to delete the triangular pattern which I created. So this is an easy way to select the triangular pattern curves. So I'm just selecting the outer curve and I'm changing to top tab and just moving it. So actually sometimes it won't be proportional, so you can do scaling. I'm just doing scale. So I'm just copying this and turning off auto so that I could place in the angular one. So I'm just placing it. Now I'm switching the tab to perspective. So I got the line of the base. So I'm just unhiding it. So I'm just hiding the surface for. So I'm just hiding the surface so that I could edit the inner one. So I'm using project command. So it's asking for the curve to project and surface is it. So I got the projection. So now I could trim the surface. So I'm just selecting the line. So now I'm going to place this pattern exactly. So exactly here. So now I'm turning off the layers, turning on the object which I had. So we got the model. Any doubts you can ask in the comment section. We will reply as soon as possible. And we are going to post the workshop video which we took in previous year. It's around 30 hours video. So for Rhino as well as Grasshopper. So stay tuned. Watch the workshop video which will be useful, and we will teach about I will teach Rhino and Grasshopper from the scratch in that workshop video. So stay tuned and so okay. Thanks for watching the video. Tata, bye bye.